screen.
Talofa lava, Mr Speaker, and to all of our Samoan communities here at Parliament today and who are watching around Aotearoa and in fact around the world. I know today is a very significant day for all of you. Welcome to Parliament. Today is about righting an historic wrong. It is a very big day and I'm proud to be able to take this call and lend Labour's full support to this bill. Today is about correcting and finally recognising thousands of Samoan New Zealanders who have always had the right to New Zealand citizenship. Today is about justice, and I acknowledge it has been a long and a hard battle for so many people who have fought for justice for so long. And I want to acknowledge Te Ano Tuiono for bringing this bill before the House. I want to thank him and the Green Party for working constructively with all parties in this House and for working particularly with my Labour colleagues who I'm speaking alongside here today. Thank you for your collaboration in making sure that this bill made it over the line. On issues like this, working together is absolutely the right thing to do, and I'm very proud to stand here today to say Labour has supported this bill at every step of the way. To the tens of thousands from our Samoan communities whose voices have helped to shape this bill, thank you for your ongoing and your strong advocacy. I know there have been a lot of talanoas held throughout the year with the community, and I want to acknowledge that many have shared deeply felt, personal and generational stories of their experiences as a result of that 1982 Act and the history between New Zealand and Samoa, and I want to thank you for sharing those stories. I want to thank our Labour MPs who have put so much work into making sure that we, as a team, understood why this bill was important and why our support for it mattered. They have been right there alongside our Samoan New Zealanders, supporting them each and every step of the way, whether it's during all of those meetings around the country, on marches, bringing their voices and aspirations to Parliament. Thank you to our Pacifica MPs. To Leomanga Lydia Susini, who can't be here today, but who sat on the Select Committee, a very warm thank you to you. To Carmel Sepuloni, Barbara Edmonds, Jenny Salesa and Tange Utakiri, thank you for all of the engagement I know that you have been doing with our communities across the country. And can I thank Rachel Boyack, who so competently chaired the Select Committee, and to all of the members on the Select Committee for bringing this bill back to the House. It is a powerful thing to have strong Pacific representation at Parliament, and I'm very proud of Labour's strong connection with our Pacific communities and the strong representatives that you have sent to be part of our team. The strong relationship and that strength of relationship is something that we celebrate and we respect every single day in this House. It helps to bring about change, like the ones that we are seeing here today. And that's why I'm proud to say that Labour will continue to wholeheartedly support this bill. There have been many strong voices heard during this debate, almost 25,000 submissions during the Select Committee process. It's been very clear that this is an issue important to and close to so many within our community. I want to thank one submitter, Whalemai Lesa, who made history by successfully arguing her case to the Privy Council 4 decades ago that she was indeed a New Zealand citizen. Her oral submission, spoken in Samoan, articulated, quote, "The only thing I want is for my people to be able to travel freely without hindrance or legal implications. If only they didn't take away this right from Samoans." We have heard that message. She and many other aunties and uncles have shared similarly heartbreaking experiences of facing deportation when they should have been recognised as citizens. Thank you for sharing your testimony and for continuing to advocate to this day. Although this bill only applies to the elders of the community, and I say elders only in the sense of age, I feel very much encouraged by the staunch voices of young Samoans who have also been pushing for change. To quote one young and bright activist who led a petition in support of this bill, Esme Salesa, who is here, I want to quote from her directly, quote, "They have a right to be here as much as anyone else does, and they deserve their citizenship." I totally agree. This is about fairness. It's about ensuring that those who are entitled to the rights other New Zealanders have are afforded those rights. Outside of the scope of this bill, during the Select Committee process, we also heard from the community that they want Samoan New Zealand visas to be reviewed. We, as the Labour team, would be supportive of the government exploring those issues to remove and alleviate any potential barriers for Samoan New Zealanders wanting to make coming to New Zealand more accessible for their families. Today's decision to overturn injustices of the past against our Samoan communities is the way forward in honouring the spirit of the government's Dawn Raids apology. The apology was a watershed moment for New Zealand, and I know how important it was for our Pacific communities. But I also know that we've still got a way to go to make sure that our actions match up with the words in that apology. And today's passage of this bill through the House is another thing that gives meaning to the words when we said as a country that we were sorry. We must look to our past to reconcile our future. The Muldoon era heralded a series of discriminatory immigration laws which of course led to the Dawn raids and the subsequent 1982 removal of citizenship for Samoans born between 1924 and 1948. It should never have happened. Today is a step forward. I know for many Ainga, they've waited a long time for this. I know just how much today means for you all and what it means for the thousands who are now going to be eligible for citizenship. I'm glad through the Select Committee process we were able to achieve something which wasn't achieved at the first reading, the unanimous support of all parties in Parliament for this legislation. There were concessions along the way that needed to be made to get that, but I am glad that everybody got there in the end. What's important is that there is a pathway forward for those who would otherwise have been left behind. I know our Samoan communities are amongst our hardest working and proudest New Zealanders, and I know that today is a big day. I know for some of you, citizenship was the last step to being fully recognised as a New Zealander and finally feeling like you can call Aotearoa New Zealand home. And I can assure you that you have always been home here. Whenever I've been with our Samoan communities here, whether it's at a Pacifica Fest, at the Whale, or simply walking down Great South Road in Otahuhu, I've always been made to feel very warmly at home. I have always been very well fed, and I have always enjoyed great company. We are really proud of our Samoan communities here in New Zealand. Thank you for everything you contribute to the richness of this country. It's a legacy of empowering our communities that we're firmly committed to upholding. So for those of you who are eligible, I understand the oldest cohort may be as young as 100 years young. Once the applications are open, I encourage you to consider it. You have a right to participate in this country to the fullest, and we are very pleased that you are finally going to get this opportunity. Whakatai tale lava. Thank you all again. And as my colleague and good friend Barbara Edmonds, who no doubt is going to speak and say this later on, today it's the 685s to the world.
Okay, so 685s. I wonder if that's a telephone number block.
Probably.
I'll tell you what will really sweeten the deal, though. Removing the application fee, $204. It's like, no, just make that shit free.
Yeah, it should be totally free.
Now, Cameron Brewer did say in his speech that every successful application would be refunded.
Successful?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess it's a fair compromise.
Yeah, that is something that he did. I did hear in his speech that he said that the successful applications would be refunded, which is a good. At least that kind of acknowledges the right process, because it's at least it's going, well, if you're eligible and you're not wasting people's time, you will get it. Whereas if you're just going to waste people's time, you don't get it back, which is normal when it comes to immigration applications. You don't tend to get the money back at the end of it, regardless of whether you're successful or not.
Personally, I'll just give everyone $204. Call it a day. He's like, sorry.
Yeah.
It's like, don't even have an application fee. Just give them the money.